Hello everyone! Welcome to the eCYBERLESson classroom. My name is Matt Hartman and I'll be your instructor for this lesson. Today, we'll be looking at how to develop a problem statement. A well-constructed problem statement helps set a firm foundation for your entire eCYBERLESson project. And even though we'll be referring to this as a problem statement, it might also be in the form of a question, as you'll see later. You can use the techniques described here to narrow down your problem statement. Now, if you've already selected a mission challenge, then you can use that in this lesson. If your team is still trying to determine a mission challenge, you can go back and work through lesson 2. Now, if you'd rather continue with this lesson, then just pick any mission challenge now and use that to work through the lesson. First, I'm going to take you through an example of how to complete Student Sheet 3-1. So, get your copy of Student Sheet 3-1 and follow along with me. If you'd like to fill in what I'm doing as we go, you can then print out a new copy for yourself. Or you can always just rewind the video to see how we did this. Let's start. The first thing I need to do is state my main topic from the mission challenge I chose. This is simply stating the mission challenge you selected. I'll be going with environment. So in the triangle below, I write environment into the part of triangle that is the same color, in this case, green. Now, we'll move on to the next section in the top triangle. This asks me to write 1 or 2 subtopics from my group's internet or library research on my main topic. I've done some research previously, and I came up with 2 topics, climate change and water pollution. So I'll write these in the light green section of the bottom triangle. That step will probably take you a little longer, since you'll need to do your research before you can fill it in. But like I said, I did my research before we started. Okay, so moving on to the next section. Here, I need to add 1 or 2 possible viewpoints that could be further researched to my subtopic. You will note that there's a list of these coming out from the arrow connected to that section. This list includes biological, economic, environmental, educational, legal, medical, moral ethical, philosophical, physical, psychological, sociological, and technological. I'm going to base the ones I chose on the research I did. Now, I could put environmental here, it seems obvious, but that won't actually help me narrow down my problem statement because it just takes me back to the mission challenge I selected. So I'm not going to choose that. Instead, I'm going to pick biological because I want to know how my subtopics affect life, and educational because I'm a teacher. This is something I already know a lot about, so I'm going to use my strengths. Okay, we're halfway there. Let's keep going on to the next section. Now, I need to add 1 focus area to the subtopics and viewpoints I have. Note we have some to select from again. Here we have time period, geography, and demography. For time period, we're looking to see if it's possible to focus on a specific time period for my topic. With geography, we want to look at if it's possible to focus on a specific place. And with demography, we're looking to see if it's possible to focus on a group, either by age, ethnicity, species, or educational level. Now I'm going to select geography because I'd like to see how these problems are affecting my local community. Okay, second to last section. Here, we're selecting 1 subtopic, 1 viewpoint, and 1 focus. So I'm going to choose water pollution, biological, and geography. All right, now last one. Now we need to reword the selections from the section above in order to write a problem statement that actually makes some sense. Just those 3 words aren't going to do it. So I'm going to phrase mine like this. How does water pollution affect the quality of life in my local community? Okay, now I have a problem statement. You may notice that this problem statement is still somewhat vague, and that's okay. We'll want to continue to focus it as we go forward. Remember, the more specific you are as you complete your triangle, the more focused you will be. But too much focus can lead to difficulty in finding information. If you're having trouble coming up with your format for your problem statement, try looking at Student Sheet 3-4. It has some prompts that you can use to begin your problem statement. All right, now it's your turn. Go through the same process I just did, but using your mission challenge and your research. While you're working, pause the video and start it again when you're done with your research and have completed Student Sheet 3-1. Hello again. Hopefully you now have a problem statement. Now remember, scientists and engineers often make changes in the early stages of their investigations. So the problem statement you have right now might not be the one you end up with. That's okay. You can always learn from your investigation, and you may find that changes need to be made. One way to determine if your problem statement is ready to go is using student sheets 3-2 and 3-3. So take a look at sheet 3-2. This is problem statement bingo. We call it that because it looks like a bingo board, but you'll be doing more than just making a straight line here. You're going to go through these questions and answer them for your problem statement. There are 30 different questions here. You need to answer 25 of them to test the effectiveness of your problem statement. If you find yourself having trouble answering these questions, feel free to go back and make some changes to your problem statement. If you recall, my problem statement was, how does water pollution affect the quality of life in my local community? As I did some more research, I discovered that I needed to focus my question even more. So I changed it to, how does the amount of fertilizers in the water in my community affect local ponds and streams? This focus gave me a chance to look at specific types of bodies of water and a specific type of water pollution. This made it much easier to answer the questions in the bingo. Use student sheet 3-3 to write the answers to the questions you choose from student sheet 3-2. Let's go to our Army scientist for the next part of the activity.
Once you have answered all of the questions, you should have a final problem statement that you can write at the bottom of the sheet. So give it a shot, and if you find that you're having trouble answering the questions in the bingo, maybe you need to focus your problem statement a little more too. Pause the video now while you complete student sheets 3-2 and 3-3. Welcome back. Hopefully, you now have a fully formed problem statement that your group will feel comfortable using. I'm an Army research engineer, and I work on developing protective clothing against chemical weapons. These weapons can be in liquid, gas, or particle form. My team and I develop clothing that's meant to be worn individually by the soldiers as uniforms, so I have to think about how well he or she will be protected from bad chemicals while being comfortable enough to do his or her mission. Formulating problem statements drives the research and development that we do in my job. A problem statement in my field sounds something like, how does chemical protective clothing affect the comfort of the soldier? First, we know that protection against chemical weapons can be in the form of a fabric coating or another fabric layer. We also know that comfort can be measured by how hot someone gets. We could then focus our problem statement more and ask, how does adding a protective layer affect how hot the soldier gets? This helps my team and I plan out our research and come up with potential solutions to address our statement. Now let's go back to your eCyber mission teacher.
Time to move on to the next lesson, conducting research. And remember, if you have any questions or problems, talk to your team advisor. And if there are still questions, you can contact Cyber Guides on the forums at eCYBERLESSON.com. Or call Mission Control between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday at 1-866-GO-CYBER. See you soon.